Alright, we're here working on a 123 body car. Common problem. Glove box doesn't work to close. You have to actually manually mess with it a little bit, and even then it'll come open on you going down the road. And what happens, this thing here does not function right. So, first thing to do, you want to remove the glove box door. Now, as you can see, there's screws in here. You actually have to end up taking this whole lid apart if you were to try to disconnect the hinges from the door. But it's very easy to get the door off without doing that. Now, first off, you're going to remove the under dash panel so you can get at the lower screws for the hinges. But here's the way I do this. I'll take one of these rubbers here and carefully work it out of the dash. Okay, so now you can actually get the hinge out. Then once you remove the screws from I should say not the hinge out, the stabilizer bar out, and then once you get the hinges off the bottom, you can simply turn the glove box to get the other one out. You don't have to take the rubber out. Okay, now here's a glove box door already off. And it has Phillips screws here that you can remove easy. These nuts are a little bit different. I use snap ring pliers, and you can get right in there. And once you get it loose, you can turn it by hand. And then you can take your door apart. Now, this part is seldom ever a problem. What goes wrong is this lever right here. And what goes wrong with it is that this spring clip will pop off of the little plastic that's holding it. And then you've got this thing over to one side, and it won't work right. Well, you can put that clip back on, but it won't last long, and it's going to come off of that plastic again. So here's the fix. What you need is to reform this plastic. If you look across the face of it, or the backside I should say, you see this is sunken in. So what has happened is, with age, this plastic is now deformed, where when this is affixed with the screws, it's not pinching it closed like it did from the factory. So, the fix. Okay. So, as I mentioned, this gets deformed. So, what you're going to need, tool-wise, you can use a C-clamp. I like this welding clamp, whichever you prefer. A couple pieces of hardwood, and a heat gun. Now there's a shop tip. These heat guns, man, they cause problems when they bump around and hit stuff and burn you and whatnot. So I use one of these sheetrocking mudding pans, and that's where I always keep my heat gun. So it's never causing problems. So the way to fix this, we're going to heat this plastic up, and then we're going to clamp it back to its original shape. And you can see how much it's deformed. If I just put this piece of wood on here, see how much it rocks? That's a substantial amount of no pinching that you're getting to hold this spring in place. So we're going to heat this up. It already starts to move back into shape just from it being heated up. Okay? Okay. We're going to let that cool down. So you can let it cool, let it take a while, or we can kind of force the cooling a little bit. Now, nice and flat. And just to show you, no more rocking. It is flat, which means now that when this is assembled, that will pinch, and it will keep this spring in place. And I should mention, you need to do both sides. As you can see, this other side, it is just super deformed. So we do the same process.